Last week on Gleeboot, it was sectionals. There was a Killer Jackson 5 mashup. There was a great Survivor / I Will Survive mashup. And it was the end of Pelby as we know it. And that's what you missed on Gleeboot.
Gleeboot!
Yay!
Yes.
The end of Pelby.
As we know it, like, I don't know. Could come back. I really hope it doesn't. But
I mean, she lost her job. She was sleeping with a student.
did she officially lose her job?
I think it's assumed, but she's had to have, right?
All I
don't
know
know.
is that Quinn was in there.
Insane.
Yeah, Quinn was in the office. She's like, I decided I'm not going to tell on her. So.
Right. So did
so
she
we don't know anything. I'm assuming that nothing happened because Quinn decided not to tell on her.
Well, maybe this is just my headcanon.
I'm going with what we know. I'm looking at the
She hit the mute button on the keyboard. Oh boy. This is going to be a good episode.
Welcome to Gleeboot, the show where we get drunk and talk about rebooting Glee one episode at a time. I'm Cullen.
Allyssa.
And I'm Hannah. And our special guest this week is my cousin, Heather.
Hi, guys.
Yay.
It's so good to see you. I was like, who's the guest this week, Cullen? And Cullen says, oh, it's Heather. And I was like, Hannah's cousin. I was like, And did we meet at all? Like, did you come visit Hannah? You did, right? In Boston?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, so we met in Boston.
Yeah.
I remember, so the one time we had Alyssa, not this Alyssa, but Alyssa from Cleveland on, and I was like, oh yeah, you guys finally get to meet Cullen and Alyssa, and she's like, I've definitely met them. I came to visit you like 3 times. Like, okay. So I just went along with it this time. I was like, yeah, totally. Oh, it seems like they've met. Cool. Not gonna say, no, here you guys have met for the first time. Yeah, not gonna be that awkward. That was awkward. Anyway.
Welcome to the golden episode of Gleeboot. It's our 50th episode, guys.
We are pretty sure. Anyway.
I've been practicing.
Nice.
Thank you so much for listening to us for so long.
Yes,
yeah.
listeners, 50 episodes. Yeah, that's
We still have listeners, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're still out there.
Just making sure. I'm not doing
they're
this
all
for
across
nothing.
the world. All across the world too. Like we get them like here and there, but yeah, so it's pretty cool. Thanks for listening,
that's
guys.
awesome.
We appreciate it.
Yeah. Feeling
And it's
emotional.
also Christmas.
Merry
and happy
Christmas.
holidays.
Happy
Happy
holidays.
Happy Hanukkah,
Yeah.
Merry Christmas, all the
of them.
holidays.
Crumpusmas.
Festivus.
Yeah, all the holidays. So, Heather,
Yes.
what is your relationship with the show Glee? What is your Glee journey?
So I was watching Glee in high school as it came out. But then when I went to college, I kind of stopped watching it. And not that long ago, I actually rewatched all of the seasons from the beginning to the end. And so then today I watched the Christmas episode, but I have always notoriously skipped the Christmas episodes. So today was the first time I've watched it.
No, I had no idea.
That's crazy.
I kind of figured like, oh yeah, like Christmas music, like she went to school for music education. I'm like, this will be like right up her alley. She's like, nope.
No, I always skipped the Christmas episodes because I was always watching it when it's not Christmas. And I was like, I don't want to listen to Christmas music right now. Bye.
Valid. That's very valid. Yeah, I think there wasn't a Christmas episode the very first season, but last season there was, and it was not Christmas when we recorded that episode.
Yeah.
And that's when I revealed to Alyssa and broke her heart that I do not like Christmas music.
My heart is still broken.
I was just learning this too.
Hannah, we always sing Christmas carols at Thanksgiving. What?
Which I'm so glad you said that because I bet people are like, what? At Thanksgiving? Yeah. I like my favorite one of all time is in this episode. I'm so excited to talk about it. I will be talking 45 minutes alone about it. No, I'm kidding.
So I saw the TikTok about it, and I was like, seriously? Is this serious? This cannot be serious.
I posed as we watched the episode.
I had no idea.
I haven't seen them. I have to go back and watch this one then. Oh my gosh. Amazing. Well, okay. I think this is actually a really good episode for someone who, like, if you're like just coming in for this episode, even though you've watched it, there's not a lot of story overlap from the rest of the show. It's kind of like, it kind of is on its own, which I thought was like, oh, this is going to be great. We don't have to explain like anything. It's just this is what it is.
Yeah, there's not a lot of story in general.
Yeah. Like the story doesn't connect with anything anywhere, even within itself. So
yeah,
and that's exactly why I would skip them, because they didn't connect with anything.
That's a good point. Like, yeah, like this one quite literally is its own Gleeverse. Like we say that every episode is its own universe, but this is quite literally its own thing.
Yeah. So did you take the BuzzFeed quizzes, Heather?
I did.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
All right. So my Glee character is I am Quinn Fabray.
We have so many Quins. That's crazy.
And my Glee boyfriend is Blaine Anderson.
Wow.
Nice.
Okay. Okay.
Class.
Yeah, you have very classy characters for sure.
I was literally taking those quizzes and being like, if I come up as Rachel, I am going to do something drastic.
I need to rethink my whole life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are we drinking today?
I am drinking Bud Light Seltzer, and it is the Ugly Sweater collection. This is Apple Crisp.
Oh.
Yeah. They're all Christmassy
fun.
and holiday flavors.
Nice.
I got from the store and I ordered it off of Instacart. So they had to look at my ID, but I've never ordered alcohol and got it delivered before. So that was interesting. Anyway, Belching Beaver peanut butter milk stout.
Ooh.
Not a stout
Not about
fan.
that stout life.
I actually really like stouts, especially when they're peanut butter.
Belching Beaver.
It has a little beaver on it. See?
Belching
That's
Beaver
cute.
sounds like a character cut from Narnia. Like the beaver's cousin. Like we didn't include him in the movie.
Oh, that's great.
I am drinking Mike's Harder black cherry lemonade.
Ooh, it's harder. This is just more alcohol.
Yeah, it tastes vaguely like cough syrup.
Ew.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan, but
Gross.
I thankfully only have like about one thing of it.
Right.
And
Is it
this
a
is my
40
time to
ounce?
drink it. It is how many ounces?
Definitely not 40.
16.
16. Okay. Well, that's like an energy drink size, right?
Yeah.
Woof. Well, I'm kind of in the holiday spirit. I have that Last Snow again. It's that coconut and coffee porter. It's grown on me for sure. Like, didn't quite like it when I first had it, but then I kept drinking it during the podcast. And I was like, okay, yeah. Then I had it the other night and I was like, oh, this is awful. And even my roommate Ginger was like, oh, this is the worst thing ever. Now I'm drinking it. It's actually pretty good. Maybe it's just the day of the week. Maybe it's only good on Sundays during the podcast.
It's only good when you're podcasting.
Yeah, I think that might be what it is.
Yeah,
it's a
maybe
funky
only when
Buddha.
Mercury's in retrograde.
You say that like you know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and I don't.
Yeah.
That's the
People
best
are
part.
going to think that you're actually saying that this beer. Some people believe this stuff.
It's called white male confidence. I just say things like I know them.
Oh, that's amazing. It's white male confidence. I just say things like I know them. Gleeboot. On a t-shirt.
That's how our countries run. That's how our businesses are run.
Ooh, yeah, that's some truth right there.
I'll make a shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's jump right into this episode. This is Extraordinary Merry Christmas, episode
9, I think.
Episode 9, yeah, of season 3. It opens with Mercedes singing All I Want for Christmas Is You, the Christmas anthem.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this episode starts exactly the same way as last year's Christmas episode. It's just like we open on them singing, decorating the tree, and then that's it. It just starts.
Yeah. I mean, this song really, like, I thought that maybe she was singing it to Sam because he's the first person that she puts the garland around.
Yeah.
But then she goes on to like 4 different other people, and I was like, oh, okay. So this is just a random song. She's not actually singing to anyone.
Yeah, I love that little flirty moment though. I was like, ooh, flames still happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got that flirt vibe, even though Mercedes still technically has a boyfriend.
Yeah.
She's,
Who has a full ride to Ohio State apparently.
Yeah. She's interested in Sam still. I thought this number was really fun though. Like the dancing, everyone dancing around.
Mhm.
I'm like, this has like no context. Like, why does a public school have like a giant tree that they're decorating? Like, this makes no sense, but it's fun.
Yeah, and I think like I wasn't weirded out by the song like I was Island of Misfit Toys. 'Cause I tore that song apart. I was like, what is this song? And this song, I'm like, yes, I love Mariah. Mercedes cover of it, fantastic.
I love Mariah. I like Mercedes is the Mariah of Glee. I swear.
Yeah.
And she's got the voice. She's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she looked so happy while she was singing. Mercedes has this great, just like positive energy.
Yeah, she does.
So yeah, that's how the episode opens, with Christmas paper and garlands and everything. And then we have a scene in Sue's office with the random collection of Artie, Kurt, and Blaine. Why Sue is talking to them in particular.
Who knows?
Who can explain it? But she's like she calls them like wheels, porcelain, other gay.
Doesn't she call him Gelfling?
She calls him Gelfling at one point too.
That's my favorite like nickname that she has for Kurt, because he actually looks like a Gelfling.
She also called Blaine young Burt Reynolds, and I was
he
like,
made this face.
Yeah, he was like proud.
Yeah.
I was like, I kind of see it a little bit. Yeah, I immediately thought like, why are you going to the students? Why don't you go to like the teacher who's in charge of the club, even if he is your enemy? Like, that's the logical thing to do. But then I remembered watching Glee.
Oh, no logic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always got to remind yourself of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So she is like, I'm volunteering at the homeless shelter, and I'd like you to volunteer your gift of song. She's also like, it's time for forgiveness, so I'm forgiving you for ruining the American Songbook one mashup at a time.
Which I thought was like, it's got to be a nod to people who complained about Glee mashups. Like, it has to be, that's what that is.
He's getting fed.
Yeah.
Oh, there goes her food. We'll see her in just a second.
She's behind Cullen's
Oh, guys,
head.
I have a quick cat update. We got a new cat. We have a kitten.
Another one?
Yeah, my new roommate, Alora, she got a little baby kitten today. He's so cute. And I know Heather has a new kitty too.
I do. I have a new baby boy. He is 11 weeks old and his name is Loki. I'm trying to get him so that I can. Yay! Here's my little Loki.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
What a cutie.
Oh, he's so cute.
He's a little gray fur ball.
Yeah.
So very important podcasts updates. We had
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yes,
so
Sue.
Sue is like volunteering. She's like, I'd like you to volunteer at the homeless shelter with your gift of song. And Artie's like, I've heard you state on multiple times you don't believe in homelessness. And like you called them urban campers, which
Yeah.
is she's done that before. Like
Yeah.
they
Yes.
remembered something.
Yeah. I laughed because I was like, that sounds really familiar. I was like, I think maybe that was an actual callback. I was kind of proud.
Yeah. Good for our little baby Glee writers.
Baby Glee writers.
I laughed pretty hard at that comment, though. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't believe in homelessness. Like, what? Oh.
And she's like, well, my sister died this past year, and I'm just trying to keep myself occupied and be more thankful.
It was very tender and vulnerable, even if that like small split second. It was very touching because she's like, I'm kind of gonna be alone for Christmas, and I want to do something to stay occupied. And
Yeah, she said it's gonna be her first Christmas without her sister.
I remember the death of her sister being like one of the most touching moments of the Sue character, and I think I even cried when that happened.
Oh yeah, there were tears shed on this podcast. I mean, not actually like on the podcast, but we talked about how we had shed tears. That's what's really strange about Sue is that like they'll have these like random moments where it's just like she's really vulnerable, and then she just becomes again like the worst person, and I'm like, I don't know how they do it, but they do it.
Yeah. She also makes them, she's like, I forgive you for forcing me to run and then embarrassingly you lose a congressional race.
Yeah, that's right. And then he's like, we accept your forgiveness.
And so she asked them to help and they say yes. And now we get some Finchel content.
It's just what we asked for.
Finn comes up to Rachel and Rachel's like, here, I have a list for you. And he's like, I thought we agreed that things I did wrong this week list was hurting more than helping.
My jaw dropped. I literally went, I was like, what? Like, obviously that's so Rachel, but I'm like, oh man, that hurts.
You know, and that was the moment that I was taking the Glee character quiz going, dear God, if I get Rachel, I need to reevaluate my life choices.
Yeah. Okay, so I kind of wanted to quickly talk. Okay. Last Christmas,
I gave you my heart.
Yes, thank you. She was intolerable in the sense that she was like hounding Finn to try to get him to forgive her for kissing Puck or something like that.
Yeah.
Basically like cheating on him. And she like tried to like attack him with a song on the stage, and then she like they sang at the random Christmas tree picking out scene, and so she was like intolerable in the way that she just like would not stop. And then she becomes intolerable in a totally different way in this Christmas one, and I'm like, yeah.
She's definitely privileged.
Yeah,
Nice way to
That's
put
putting it nicely.
Honestly, I feel like that's the meaning of Christmas is understanding your privilege, because that's what I got from this episode. That's the meaning of Christmas.
She's like, here's an itemized list of 15 items. You can get me 5. And he's like, teeth whitening spray tan. Like, he's like, this is out of my budget. And she's like, well, what do you want for Christmas? And he's like, well, it's like the song, all I want for Christmas is you. She's like, all I want for Christmas is you too. And 5 things on that list.
5 though. I mean, 5? That's insane.
Yeah.
Especially with the prices that she had for some of them.
Yeah.
She's crazy. I don't understand. Like, why does she think that people can just do that?
especially Finn, who like he's probably working maybe a few hours at Bert's shop, but like he's probably not making that much. Like he may be working like 15 hours a week and making minimum wage. Like he's
and
not.
Like I would assume that Finn is Rachel's first boyfriend and probably one of her first good friends, right? I get the feeling that she just doesn't have a lot of friends or didn't before Glee.
Yeah. She just doesn't know.
She doesn't pick up on social cues either.
No.
That's
She
true.
just like doesn't like her dad spoil her and she thinks everybody does that.
Right.
Probably. I think you're right.
Yeah. That's a really good assessment.
It's strange for me.
Yeah. You know who she reminded me of in this episode? Muffy from the show Arthur.
Yeah. That's funny.
Wait,
she's the
Muffy?
little sister, right?
She's the rich girl.
Oh, I thought the
The little sister is DW.
Oh, okay. I know who you're talking about, Muffy. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's in a lot of memes these days.
What type of animal is she?
She's a monkey.
What?
Isn't she? Muffy's a monkey. Yeah.
I'm looking this up right now.
Another guess who's fact checking.
I don't remember.
So all the animals on Arthur are pretty amorphous.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say she's an aardvark too, right? I don't remember.
She is a monkey.
What?
Cullen knows his Arthur. All right.
Yeah.
Monkey.
Boom. Wow.
I have to see her face. Because I don't remember.
You should look up Muffy memes because she's also in the memes.
I got it.
Oh my goodness. She's a monkey?
Yeah.
I don't know
She's
how
a
she looks
peach-colored
different.
Monkey.
She looks like Arthur. She should be an aardvark too. Or is it
That's
just the
what I
fact
thought.
that her nose
She doesn't have
protrudes?
the...
Yeah, I
Her
also
ears
thought,
are
I was like, oh, she's an
different.
aardvark.
You can tell when episodes of Glee don't have a lot of content in them.
Because we're talking about everything other than the episode. Yes.
This episode
I knew this was gonna
so
happen.
boring.
Yeah. There was like, I was like, okay, even the show is only here for the music.
Yeah.
Mhm.
This was a commercial for the Glee Christmas album.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. A 40-minute commercial.
Yeah. So then, because she's like, I heard that you had trouble figuring out what to get me because there's like a scene in the locker room where he's like, I don't know what to get Rachel for Christmas. And they're like, you should get her socks. And like, they're all giving him bad advice. Rory says soil.
Is
Did
that
he
what he
really?
said?
Yeah.
I was like Santana and Brittany. I couldn't understand a thing he said.
And then Kurt is like peeking over, watching
Putting
the
on
boys
like
put on
moisturizing or something.
And he's like, who told you, Kurt? She's like, no. And then Kurt walks by. Yes. I like that moment.
Mm-hmm.
I like that little dynamic.
It was cute.
Yeah. So he's like, holy crap, I'm dating Kim Kardashian because she wants a lot of things.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
I didn't understand the reference. Like, I know who Kim Kardashian is, but I didn't quite connect why she was supposed to be Kim Kardashian. Just because she's like super demanding or something.
And materialistic.
Yeah, I didn't know either. I was like, okay, sure. I guess that's the best they had. I was wondering if like, oh, maybe that's a moment from like Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Rest in peace, by the way, that show. But like, there was that moment where they were on vacation and she lost her earrings in the pool,
ocean.
and Courtney's like, they're like people starving.
Yeah, he's just like, I lost my earrings. People
like,
are dying, Kim.
People are dying.
God.
I don't know. That's the only thing I could come up with was like basically the meme.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to know how Finn knows.
That's a great question. How does Finn know about Kim Kardashian?
Maybe it's just like has seeped into his brain from all the times Kurt has watched it.
I That's probably a good point. Kurt's probably like chatting him up about it, and he's like, "Sure."
I finally understand what you're talking about. I'm dating her. Just added a whole bunch of context to that scene.
Thank you for that context that the writers did give us.
It was very confusing and held back the show a lot.
So then they're in the choir room, and Finn is like, my friend Roy Flanagan, who's basically my sidekick, has something to say. And he's like, my mommy was supposed to come home for Christmas, but plane tickets are expensive, so I'll be spending Christmas without my family for the first time. And I'd like to dedicate this song to them and to the king. And Kurt is like, Jesus?
I laughed really hard.
I laughed too.
That was so good. But like no one says anything. It's just like silence and it goes into the song.
Blaine like gives him a look like no. And then he sings Blue Christmas. He just stands there, sings Blue Christmas.
He was so stiff. He didn't move at all. He didn't shuffle his feet. No, nothing.
I watched a little bit and then I was like, fast forward. This is really boring. I'm sorry, Rory. I want to root for you. Oh, there's other people play.
I don't know what you're talking about, guys. That's how I sing.
You just stand there. You don't even.
I mean,
you're just like,
it's different if you have like a microphone that's in a stand and you have to stay on the microphone. But if you don't have a microphone, isn't it more awkward to stay in one place?
That's just a song that was born for a montage, and they didn't have any content for a montage.
Yeah.
So they just did he's singing there. We'll have a couple face journeys, but no one's going through anything right now. So
that's a good point. Yeah, it is really like a montage thing.
But they could have done a montage with him, like missing his family. I feel like this was it was kind of like they were cutting corners. They were being lazy.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, hey, we're exhausted. It's almost time for Christmas break. We just got to shoot.
Yeah. They're like, we kind of do have to get in this montage. No, we don't. He'll just stand there. It's fine. They're like, all right, that's a wrap.
And then Santana is like, that song was so depressing, I might actually be dead right now.
It's exactly what I was thinking as well.
Yeah, it was very boring. I'm sorry, Roy. I want to root for you.
I like his voice, but that was it.
Yeah, this has come across my Glee Christmas playlist, or I should say my Christmas playlist, because that song is on there. I think it's a good cover. I do like his voice. I think just the performance was, meh.
Yeah. And then Rachel's like, Santana just means we wanted to focus on the happiness and the pageantness of the season. And because Tina's like, last Christmas was super sad. Kurt was at a different school, already got a pair of legs that broke the next day.
Oh yeah. I forgot. Yeah. Heather, did you ever see the last season's one? So here's what happened. Coach Beast so Brittany believed in Santa Claus. She asked Santa Claus for Artie to be able to walk. And
I do vaguely remember this. Yes.
Coach Beast bought him like some sort of like robotic device that helps him walk. And it was very complex of an episode of a story. And then apparently they broke the next day, which is like really even sadder.
Womp womp.
Yeah.
Womp womp. Yeah.
Yeah. Hope was just snatched away.
Yeah.
And Beast probably spent
so much money.
Yeah.
Thousands of money was spent.
Thousands of money. Oh boy.
How much you owe on your student loans? Thousands of money.
Thousands of money.
That's what I'm using now. Yeah. So they're like, yeah, we want to focus on happy stuff. And then Will comes in and is like, hey, there's a special on local TV. They lost the rights to the Yule log burning. And Puck is like, the hell? And he's like, so instead they want us to do a Christmas pageant. And Rachel's like, starring all of us? Yes. And he's like, and they asked for a director, and I nominated Artie. And Artie's like, I promise I never sell out and do television, but I'll think about it.
Oh my God. That was so annoying. It didn't even go anywhere either. Like, he immediately ended up doing it.
Yeah.
The big thing I took away from this was that the kids just started the club meeting without their teacher.
Yeah,
like,
they're all just sitting there.
And then, like, I don't know if this happens to you, Heather. Do the kids just start the class before you get there?
Absolutely. You know, kids are so gung-ho about class.
That's what I was like, that's stupid. They'd still be sitting there talking. And like, no, that's not
I don't know.
thing.
Maybe in a music class they would have, though.
You think?
I think, like,
Mr. Shoe's late.
In an elite music class, they would have, because, like, thinking back to my high school days when I was in madrigals, we probably would have started warm up had our teacher been late.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
so do you think New Directions is like that? Do you think? Are they elite?
I think that they are elite. I mean, they have auditions to see who gets in, so they are in some
That's
ways
true.
an elite group.
That, and also they have like so many like perfectionists and stuff that like Rachel, of course, would probably, I think she's been like, this is this week's lesson, when she was like,
Of course she has.
I will never forget this. She definitely called people out for not doing vocal warm-ups. Like, she did that. So yeah, that's, oh boy. Oh, Rachel.
Also, speaking of continuity, where's Sugar?
Ha! That's right. Sugar Mata.
Our favorite
Oh my
character. We missed her.
Yeah. Missed her so much.
I did not even notice that she was gone.
But Sugar, I think throughout the series, there's a rotation of sometimes she's there, sometimes she's not. And so I just want to start keeping track of when Sugar appears and when she doesn't.
Like a Where's Waldo, but like Where's Sugar?
Yes.
She should have been in this episode, because if we're talking about Christmas and privilege, she should have been in there.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So then, they're gonna do this Christmas special, and so then Rory is opening his locker, and all his books fall out, because they don't have lockers in Ireland. They just leave everything in the open meadows for the leprechauns.
No. They put it in their cauldrons. Their cauldrons full of gold.
Gold. Yes.
Yeah. That's what they do. There's gold and there's their textbooks, and they carry it around.
Yes, with their soil.
Their soil and their potatoes. Don't forget the potatoes.
Is he still wearing green?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
And then Sam is like, I'll just show you my locker stacking technique so that doesn't happen again. So these characters have met now. So
yes.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, is that your family? He's like, yeah, I miss them a lot. And Sam's like, I miss my family a lot too. They're only a few hours away. What are you doing for Christmas? He's like, well, Brittany's family is going to see a gay Santa, something about Santa Fe.
That I didn't catch.
I got that.
Okay, the gay Santa. Okay, I get it now. I think I was too focused on the fact that, like, Brittany's family wasn't going to take their exchange student with them. They were just going to let him. I'm wondering if Brittany's parents are exactly like her. They just don't think of things like that. Like,
it's possible.
That's what I was like,
but I also have heard from exchange students that that's not really something that the host family is required to do, really, like on breaks and stuff.
I don't know. My cousins, when they had exchange students, they always took them everywhere.
I think it probably depends on the family.
I feel like when you have to, you're responsible for that child, right?
I don't know. I've never had an exchange student, Hannah.
All right, I'm gonna have to ask my friend who's had exchange students in her family for like ever. I'm gonna have to have her. She'll be on the podcast later on. Maybe we'll ask her then.
Okay.
I'll have to
Yeah.
get
If we
some
remember.
inside info. Oh, I will write it down. I'll have to figure out what episode she's on.
Yeah. So he's like, how about you drive down with me for my family's Christmas? I need someone to keep me awake on the drive, and I can be like your Christmas sponsor. And he's like, I like that a lot, Sam. And they go off together. This was a cute scene. I actually really liked it.
Their little relationship, this was something I just like would have never pictured happening, but I think it makes sense. I feel like Rory comes off as a pretty down-to-earth person, and Sam is super down-to-earth. Like he really just like he did a lot of great things in this episode that I'm just gonna keep commending as we go.
Yeah. And so he was being a good friend, which is so rare in this show.
Yeah. And a good person.
Yeah.
He is the best golden retriever.
Yep. Golden retriever with abs.
Yeah. I literally, every time I see Sam, I can't unsee the Rocky Horror Sam.
True. Yeah. I think we're all triggered by that. We're triggered by that entire episode. Unanimously the worst episode of season 2.
I wanted that for the quiz this year to be like the worst episode of season 3, the Rocky Horror Glee Show.
That's a good idea.
It is just the worst. So they're doing the special on local TV. The producer is talking to Artie, and he's like, I'm so happy our special is being directed by a teenage disabled boy, or like a modern day Tiny Tim. And Artie's like, huh? And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, Tiny Tim could walk.
No, that was literally like open mouth insert foot twice. Like
it was bad.
That was bad.
It was really, really bad.
And then Artie
I was really racing
like,
for the show too.
Yeah, the show, like, I get the Tiny Tim reference, but then they're like, oh, wait, he could walk. Like, I feel like that happened in the writer's room where someone's like, oh, yeah, he could say, like, he's like a Tiny Tim, and that's offensive. And someone's like, yeah, but Tiny Tim could walk. And they're like, ooh, that's even more offensive. Like, I could just see that happening in the writer's room.
Just a little window into the Glee writers room right there.
A little peek.
Yeah, so then Artie's like, I had a dream where Chewbacca came to me. He doesn't call him Chewbacca, he calls him a Wookiee.
Yeah.
And he's like, everyone knows the best holiday special. It's a Star Wars holiday special. So I want Star Wars in our special. And I want it to be filmed in black and white, like the Judy Garland holiday special.
I missed that bit.
So that's probably why you're confused?
I was so confused. I was like, what?
Yeah. So I've never seen the Star Wars the holiday special. I've also never seen Star Wars. However, my favorite podcast, How Did This Get Made, did that holiday special, basically making fun of it because it was a mess. And I was like, okay, so the show is literally setting up this sort of pageant that they're having to be kind of like really, really cheesy. And I'm like, okay, I'm excited for it. I was actually excited. I was like, okay, they actually want it to be cheesy. It's not gonna be like seriously like we're trying to make this super good.
I've seen the Star Wars holiday special.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, most of it is just Wookiees moaning. The grandpa Wookiee watches like this porn device.
Yeah, isn't most of it just about the Wookiees?
Yeah.
They can't
that's what everyone
English,
wanted. That's
even
worse. So it's just like, I can't do this noise. That's my Wookiee impression.
Wookiee speech.
It's so bad. It is so boring.
How long is it?
This is amazing.
Like 40 minutes or something?
It felt like 3 hours. I don't know.
It felt like a full-length Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So Artie wanted to wants to do that. And I've never seen the Judy Garland Christmas special.
Me either.
But he's like, people say she was high on pills and booze, but I like to think she was high on Christmas spirit and baby Jesus.
I don't know how you can be high on baby Jesus. That's a little weird, but okay. Unless that was like, I don't know, like a slang term for like cocaine or something. I don't know.
So,
Maybe it's a slang term for the high of the spirit of Jesus, Hannah.
You right?
welcome to Bible study. We're all children of Jesus.
Jesus. My God, my Lord. Happy Christmas. Merry Chrysler. Just gonna quote some vines today.
Yeah, we're a mess. Oh my God. So
This episode, it's Glee, but it's super boring. Nothing happens. Probably at some point we're just gonna start talking about our personal lives.
This is what Judy Garland means to me.
I do want to talk about how I really wish that Kelly Clarkson had done her Christmas music by this point so that we could have all of those amazing numbers.
Underneath the
I guess
tree.
that's me talking about. So good. I think I might listen to it after this because I fucking love that song.
So he's like, the producer tells Artie, you can do anything you want as long as it's under $800. And I'm like, the production value of that I doubt was under $800. But okay.
No. It looks real expensive.
And then it cuts to Rachel on this auditorium with fake snow again, singing Joni Mitchell's River.
Okay, I have never heard this song before.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why it's considered a Christmas song, except that they mentioned Christmas once.
It's coming on Christmas. They're cutting down trees, putting up reindeer, singing songs of joy and peace.
Yeah, that's it. That's the one line. And then they sing about a river. If they want a frozen river.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of Christmas songs lately that aren't really Christmas songs, but because they say the word Christmas once, it's a Christmas song.
Yeah, I don't know. It didn't feel Christmassy to me.
I love that song.
I question your taste.
I do love that song, but I don't necessarily like it as a Christmas song. I listen to it on the Joni Mitchell album on which it appears. But I don't like this cover. I did find it interesting though, because I think we had actually just briefly talked about how Rachel was excited to talk about like the funness of Christmas, right?
Yes.
And then she chooses this really depressing song, and I'm like, that was a really quick flip, Rachel.
That was
all exactly of a sudden you want to say something
my
very
thought.
Deep.
Yeah.
I literally was like, didn't they just talk about not singing depressing songs?
Yeah, I literally laughed so hard at Artie's reaction. He's like, Rachel, come to me. And she comes up, she's like, yes, I'm so excited, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, what did he say? I have it written down. Oh, he's like, it was so sad. It makes me want to kill myself. And I just laughed so hard. I was like, oh my God. I was like, it was depressing, but Jesus.
My favorite part of their interaction was when he's describing his vision and how Blaine and Kurt are the hosts. And then Rachel is like,
I'm not invited to Kurt and Blaine's for Christmas?
Yes.
He's like, not if you sing a depressing song.
Yep.
I was like, that's valid.
I have that song on my Christmas playlist. I also have Ben Platt's cover of River on the Ryan Murphy show, The Politician, on my Christmas playlist. I have 2 covers of the song River.
Wow, he did that twice. He must really love Joni Mitchell.
Yeah. I heard that song when I was putting up lights and listening to a Spotify Christmas playlist, and so I love that song. He's like, that song's depressing, you can't come, and he's describing his vision, as Allyssa was saying, with Kurt and Blaine's Swiss chalet in the Alps, and everyone's gonna come and sing happy songs, and we're gonna close with Rory as the Christmas elf Itchy reciting Frosty the Snowman, and Sam's like, what's wrong with something a little sad? That story is sad. It ends with Frosty melting. He's like, well, I'm going to change it. I'm rebooting Frosty. New pages forthcoming. And Sam's like, what's wrong with the song that's a little sad? Or a story that has a bit of a sad ending, because Christmas is all about like accepting the sad stuff because that makes life more meaningful.
Which I guess, that's the meaning of Christmas for Sam. That's one of 7 meanings of Christmas.
We talked about almost that exact same subject on our last Christmas podcast.
Yeah, no, like literally, because whose storyline did that come up in?
I don't remember.
No, we talked about it because all the songs were just happy and bubbly, and they didn't tackle any of the more serious sides of the holiday.
Oh, right. Okay.
I remember saying like something like hope was the meaning of Christmas, and then I was like, but there's also the dark side of hope, because you can't have hope without despair, and like
yeah. that sounds very on brand. That sounds correct.
There is a dark side to Christmas. I stand by Sam.
It's Krampus. No, but I agree with Sam as well. I think there's a sad side to Christmas, and I like that sad side as well. I think it's as you grow up and things aren't as perfect as they seemed. Like, I think that's really meaningful and important to embrace. And so I was with Sam because Artie's special sounded like just like a cheesy mess.
Trash.
I think like almost every Christmas movie has something like that. Even like, I mean, the Hallmark ones are probably definitely known for that, but like even ones that are like something like Fred Claus, which is like very, it's Vince Vaughn, it's very like comedy focused, but there's still like some really like deeper stuff to it.
Rudolph is about being shunned.
Yeah. I mean, like,
so like
everyone, all of these movies and stuff, like if there's no conflict, they're not very good. So the conflict is not going to make people happy.
Right.
So it makes a good story.
And then we get the relief from that and be like, oh yeah, there is hope. And that's the meaning of Christmas.
Yeah, no, but that is that's like if we're talking about the Jesus Christmas, because I know there's many facets to the holiday, that's the whole kind of point, is that a thrill of hope, the weary world rejoicing, like in O Holy Night, like that's hope is kind of the meaning of Christmas.
Yeah. We cracked it. We did it, guys.
Hopefully, guys.
Listen to Gleeboot for the true meaning of Christmas.
Yeah, you're listening to this, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. There you go.
Yeah. So Sam walks out and he's like, I'm going to go ring one of those Salvation Army bells. And I'm like, oh, people hadn't talked about how homophobic the Salvation Army was quite yet. So, but good for you, Sam. And he's like, Rory, come along with me. And Rory's like, I got to learn my part. And Sam's like, okay.
Yeah.
My demeaning part as the Christmas elf Itchy.
Right. Yeah, he also Sam looked really like he'd been betrayed, and I felt for him, but I was also like, I mean, the kid can do his own thing,
Yeah.
It felt weird to me because I feel like Sam particularly would have been more rooting for them to go to the homeless shelter.
Yeah.
But he's never introduced to that bit of the story. At least not that I remember.
But he
sort of
shows
ends up there. Yeah, and
that's
then
weird.
It seems like his idea that Christmas should be more like morose instead of merry, as Artie called it. That seems like a more tenuous drink
Everybody drink.
Yeah, it seems like a more tenuous story connection than if they could have just done those two things are happening at the same time and he found out about it and really wants to do the homeless shelter.
Yeah, because he could have even showed up and watched it and then heard them talking about like, okay, actually this is my vision, and then he could have further argued and be like, no, we should be going to the homeless shelter. Like, who is this gonna serve? We can actually go and serve people and help people.
Yeah, like I'm not saying I disagree with his stance or anything, but I think that could have been a stronger argument
for sure
on his part. At least the writer
and the homeless shelter. That's like the perfect opportunity too. Like it's a perfect
because he used to be homeless.
Yeah. They barely talk about that briefly, very at the end. In a somewhat kind of demeaning line
Pretty
by
demeaning.
Sue, but yeah, I was gonna be like, is it?
Yeah.
Extremely demeaning.
So then Rachel is upset that she's like Christmas is all about giving, and Artie would not be in the spirit of Christmas if he didn't let me give my talents to the people of Western Ohio, at least the ones that don't have cable. And Finn's like, here's my Christmas gift. Do you have any Ohio comments before I continue?
OH.
I have to do it. I'm compelled.
And then he's like, he gives her an envelope and she opens it and she's looking around for like jewelry or something. He's like, no, I got you an African sow pig. They fatten it up and they feed the whole family for like a year. And she's like, I'm vegan.
This was such an interesting thing to me because it was completely insensitive for him to get her a pig because she's Jewish and also because she's vegan. But then also, like, I have heard this argument before, like, veganism is fine when you're in a first world country, but if you try to, like, push your beliefs onto people in third world countries who literally have nothing to eat except for the meat that they have, like, that's an issue. So it was just like a really weird take on it where I was like, why did you get her a pig, Finn? And also, you can't use being vegan as an example of not to feed people pigs. I was just aghast. I was aghast with the whole situation.
I was like, this is sweet in like a weird Finn sort of way. I totally even forgot about the part about her being Jewish because they didn't even mention that. Like,
they don't mention that she's Jewish till the very end of the episode.
Yeah, I was going to say they did at the end, and like she talks about kosher.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, there's like tiny little things. Yeah, no, I definitely thought that was like, I was like, oh, that's kind of sweet in a weird Finn way. But then I was like, okay, I get it that she doesn't like it, but
yeah, she's like, I'm vegan. She's like, I got you a list just so you wouldn't embarrass yourself like this.
That was fucked up. She said, I literally was like, are you kidding? Like, okay, so like, I'm gonna talk about my personal life. I said it was gonna happen. So like, this is my first Christmas with a partner, and so like we're doing, you know, gift exchange, and like, unlike like Rachel and Finn, obviously, you know, we're adults and they're children, but like we set a strict budget and like we gave each other sort of, you know, some ideas. You know, I gave him a list of things like, pick anything off this list or anything else you think I might like. But like her saying like, I gave you this list so you don't embarrass yourself. Like if I said that to my boyfriend, like that's awful.
Yeah, it's like, awful.
I hope he dumped you if you said that to him.
Yeah, me too. I feel like that's awful. Oh my god! Like,
did she not learn?
He has become so intolerable in this episode, like aggressively intolerable.
Okay, did anyone else learn that right after you receive your gift, you're supposed to go say thank you for it? Doesn't matter if you like it or not, you have to say thank you.
Yeah,
that was 100%. What I learned when I was a child.
I don't think Rachel learned that.
She did not learn that.
You know who knows that? That kid who got an avocado for Christmas.
Yeah,
it's an avocado.
Thanks.
Yay, guys. Good job.
So Hannah, when we do our gift exchange, I shouldn't say I gave you a specific list.
Hey, I got you stuff off that list, so I did my part. I'm not embarrassed.
Yeah, so Rachel then recites Sally's line from the Charlie Brown Christmas special. All I want is what's coming to me. All I want is my fair share.
I had no idea that's what it was from. I had no idea.
Yeah, it's Sally saying that she wants a bunch of stuff, and someone's like, "Isn't that materialistic?" And she says, "All I want is what's coming to me. All I want is my fair share."
Yikes!
Why do you know that movie so well?
I've only seen it a couple times.
Your memory is freakishly good.
I just know that line, especially because the child says it in a really awkward way because they used real children in that movie, and also the voice acting is kind of weird. And so the child is obviously like reading it off a piece of paper.
Oh,
it doesn't know what it means.
Sticks out to you.
Yeah.
Right.
I kind of hate Charlie Brown, so
it hurts me when you say that.
I fucking hate Charlie Brown. Get over it.
I hate the Christmas
I'm kind of with you there, Alyssa. I don't really care for it.
I don't have an opinion.
It's so freaking depressing.
Believe it or not, I don't have an opinion.
Hannah doesn't have an opinion.
Whoa! Alert the presses.
Yeah. So then they sing. It cuts to Blaine and Rachel singing a Glee original, "Extraordinary Merry Christmas."
Okay, that's a great point. I was like, I don't know where I know this song from, and now I do.
You know it from Glee.
So it's a Glee original?
Yeah.
Huh.
They need to keep more of that iTunes money.
Why did they do it? Because it's no story element. Why were they auditioning with that? Was they at an audition? Why did they do that number?
I think they were just singing.
They were singing for the number, and Artie's like have this vision with dancing Santa Claus and Cheerios, and then they don't do it in the special because they already did it in the choir room, so they don't want to repeat it.
That's why I was like, what is this song from? Do they ever say that it's an original in the show? Like,
no.
We wrote the song. Interesting. I feel like that would be important for the story.
Yeah.
Story in quotes. That's very confusing.
Yep. This whole episode is just like a boring blob.
I love that Rachel and Blaine were like, as long as the Cheerios, don't overshadow us.
Yeah.
Although I have to say, when he first said Cheerios, I literally pictured like the cereal Cheerios. And I was like, oh, the cheerleaders, got it.
I don't know. The cereal might overshadow them.
Yeah, everyone would be like, there's floating cereal back there. It's dancing. There's pom-poms.
Oh my gosh. So then Sue walks in and is like, hey, I'm so glad you're working so hard on your performance for the homeless kids. And
yikes.
And Artie's like, oh, actually, we can't do that. We are doing our Christmas special for the Lima PBS. And she's like, you're going to let down a bunch of homeless kids? And Santana's like, they'll be homeless for a while. That's kind of the problem. And Rachel's like, we're not letting them down. We'll just distract them from the smell of urine with our glorious Christmas cheer. And she's like, the homeless don't have TVs.
That was like the cringiest line for me, was what was Rachel's line.
So many cringy things.
That was a hot mess. That whole little segment.
Yeah.
And Sue's like, and you all agree on this? And they're like, yeah. And so she walks away. Okay.
Well, they actually don't say anything.
They just say.
They don't answer.
And Quinn frowns.
Face journey.
It's a face journey.
Yeah.
Now, this is something slightly confusing because I keep talking about homeless children, and I'm like, I think was this like a shelter, like for single mothers, like escaping bad situations, like one of those? Because typically with homeless children, you don't like feed them a meal and then send them off to continue being homeless. They go in the system.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's a good point. I guess I didn't think about that because like once we get to the shelter, I actually didn't realize it was for kids. I just thought they were going to the shelter to sing to everybody that was going to be there. I missed the children part apparently multiple times.
I just assumed that Sue said homeless children because it would make people feel more guilty. Not necessarily that it was a specific thing, just that she wanted to guilt trip.
Yeah, that makes sense. That checks out.
And so then we cut to the Christmas special itself in black and white. Blaine and Kurt are singing Let It Snow. And they're just singing and dancing.
It's a great jazzy cover, but it was too goddamn long. They even had the awkward silence of like no singing, but the instrumental, and they're just like standing around like smiling awkwardly, like nudging each other. And I'm like, let's wrap this up. Let's get to my favorite song quicker.
Well, honestly, like not only is it super long, but it shouldn't be. It shouldn't feel that long because it's like 200 times the tempo or something. They're going super fast.
Yeah, it honestly should have just been, like a quick, one lyric and, one set of lyrics and then I'm losing my words, but like, just like maybe a minute and that's it. Maybe a minute. And then they'd be like, oh, there's someone at the door. Oh, hello.
Well, can I just like
the whole song?
I just want the entire special to be 1 minute long.
That's an excellent point as well.
Yeah. This is why I skipped the episodes.
Makes sense. Checks out.
Yeah. So they do we watched their whole Christmas special, and let me just tell you folks, it's bad.
Yeah.
It's really, really bad.
And
it's like an awkward Lawrence Welks show.
They make it they treat it like it's a live studio and they have like a laugh track and it's
right. That was my question. It wasn't a live studio, it was an actual laugh track. And they were just in the studio themselves, right?
Yeah.
I would assume so.
That's what I thought. I was like, there's no live studio audience, I don't think, right?
Yeah. The vibe it gave me was those SNL skits with like the four sisters singing the songs.
Yeah. It's I mean, and also like we said, it's in black and white, and they're in like these little tuxes, and they look great. They open the door, they greet us with these transatlantic accents, which I will continue to comment on. And
they usher us in, and Blaine offers them holiday libations, while Kurt is trying to place his bid on his Elizabeth Taylor jewelry auction, and then the internet's down because of the snow.
Wait. So the first thing I have written down, he's like, I'm Kurt Hummel, and this is my best friend and holiday roommate. And I was like, And then he says the internet is down because of this inclement weather. And I was like, okay, this is so like screenwriting 101 bad dialogue. Like, it's like first level bad. It's so good.
Can we discuss a little bit of like why? So they mentioned the Star Wars special, I think, because everyone knows it's bad, right? And that's why it's funny, because it was bad. But then they are trying to emulate a bad Christmas special. No one wants to watch that.
Marty loves it. He thinks it's great. But outside of that,
it's not great.
In the real world, it's not great. So it's funny to us. It's the irony.
But you can't have 15 minutes of irony.
Yeah, it's too much.
No, it doesn't work.
It's too much.
Well, clearly it didn't work.
Yes,
it did not.
That's right.
The entire Christmas special was awful and ironic, but awful.
So Kurt loses this bid. What is he bidding on? Necklace and earrings or something?
Yeah. And
so
then
he loses it.
And then Rachel and Mercedes arrive.
Yeah.
And they're all like doing like dramatic like kisses on the cheek. It's very like old Hollywood, and they're like, "Oh, we're on television."
Yeah, this feels like what, the 40s or something?
Yeah, 40s, 50s.
And Rachel's all like, "Oh, hello," and then they're like, they give them presents, and it's Mercedes gets Kurt the jewelry he was bidding on, and she's like, "It's a holiday knockoff," and Rachel gets Blaine a bow tie and candy cane striped pants. And
he's like, believe it or not, I don't even have any of these yet. And it's like, oh, we can't believe it because you have such a weird fashion sense. And I'm like, what's happening? They're talking about these kids' personal lives, kind of. It's really strange.
Just imagine, put yourselves in the view of Agnes, the 87-year-old woman watching this from her home in Lima, Ohio. And just be like, okay, who are these children? What are they saying? Like,
what'd they say? What'd they say? Is this the Judy Garland holiday special?
Because there's also a Star Wars intro we forgot to mention where they're introducing everybody, and they're like Tina Chang or Mike Chang and Tina Cohen Chang, no relation.
No relation. But then they also introduce Artie. Was the director introduced in that too?
No.
In the special. That's why I was like, why are they introducing Artie? That's so weird.
And it was sponsored by Breadsticks, the only business in Lima, Ohio, other than Brit's Tire Shop.
Yeah, no, that's true.
And yeah, so they sing "Let It Snow," then they give them the presents, and then they sing like Blaine and Kurt urge them to like sing a song, and Rachel's like, "Oh, we're not prepared," and then she just busts out in my favorite things.
Blaine's like, he's like, we have a piano over there and the ivories need tickled. And so then like the song starts and my boyfriend's like, I thought they were going to play the piano. No one's playing it.
I thought that too.
Yeah. I was like, oh, he had some really great insights. I have a couple. I can't wait to share the rest of them.
Yeah, and they sang the most tenuous drink of Christmas songs, my favorite things.
Not
from Sound of Music.
It's not a Christmas song.
Why is it considered a Christmas song? Is that what it is?
Brown paper packages.
It's not a Christmas song.
Brown paper packages tied up with strings. And then you also have warm winter mittens and
silver white winters.
Yeah, silver white winters.
Is it like Christmas time she
sings
in the middle
of the summer where there's rain.
That's what I thought.
It's during a storm in the summer.
Because yeah, like every time I hear that song, I don't think Christmas. I just think Sound of Music, but I don't think Christmas in the Sound of Music. I just
no, because it's not during Christmas.
But they always sing it as a Christmas song all the time. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's like on like the radio stations as a Christmas song. Pentatonics just released an album that has it as a Christmas song, and I'm like, what are you doing?
You have to stop this nonsense. Stop this nonsense. Take it out of the Christmas music pantheon.
Out.
Agreed.
It needs to be canceled.
Cancel a few of my favorite things.
One thing about, I love like the Rodgers and Hammerstein's like old Golden Age musicals, but the lyrics are very repetitive and they were just dancing around singing it and it got real boring.
Yeah. The harmonies are kind of cool here and there. Awesome. But other than that, I was like, this should be max 45 seconds. Let's go. We have Christmas wrapping to hear.
Hannah's priority, sorry. Yeah.
And I literally like 5 times throughout this episode was like, okay, but is this the one where Christmas wrapping happens?
And then they're worried that about this. They're like, oh, a brief message from our sponsors, and it cuts to commercial break. And then they're back, and they're like, with all this snow, Santa won't be able to bring us our presents. And Kurt's like, global climate change is no laughing matter. And he starts talking about fossil fuels, and Mercedes is like, I think these are the end times. I thought the way she delivered that line was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was so weird. It was like clearly he's wedging this agenda into this tiny little pageant thing. It was I think the thing I appreciated about this, even if it was awful, is that like this was a high schooler writing it, and it felt like a high schooler has literally no experience doing any of this stuff, which I'm assuming already kind of is. Like it feels genuine to that.
True.
But yeah.
True.
But other than that, garbage.
And then Finn Hudson and Noah Puckerman arrive, and they're dressed as Luke Skywalker and Han Solo, but they're like, are you dressed as Star Wars characters? And they're like, no, that would be copyright infringement.
Which clearly, like, the producer at the show is like, yeah, no, you guys can't do this. You can't say that it's Star Wars characters because it's a copyright infringement. And Artie's like, yep, we're just going to put that right in the script to get away with it.
How much do you think the show actually paid to talk about Star Wars like this?
Well, it's pre-Disney.
Mm-hmm.
George Lucas could have been down on his luck, looking for some handouts from Fox.
He's waiting for that third set of movies, waiting to get that paycheck, and he's like, all right, we'll give it to them.
Well, the first 3 sets of movies, he didn't have any rights to any of the earnings of the actual films themselves. He only got money from the toys, which was very smart. Mm-hmm. He made a lot of money.
Really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So then they sing, they're worried about Santa Claus getting there. And so then Finn and Puck sing Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Very Bruce Springsteen's version. Mm-hmm. I thought Finn's voice sounded really good in it, though. I thought it was a good cover.
Yeah. It was fun to listen to. I think this is on my Christmas playlist because I like it.
Is this when he was at the drums?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember being very distracted by him being at the drums and being like, oh, can Finn actually play the drums?
He plays the drums all the time on the show.
Yeah.
This is the first time that I noticed it.
Really? That's interesting. That's kind of like his thing.
Yeah.
I just noticed.
And also, Corey Monteith in real life could play the drums too, so it's not like he's faking it until he's making it. He's doing it kind of right.
Well,
so.
That's what I was noticing. Like,
yeah,
it actually kept a beat and all of that. So
yeah. So this was a good cover, and it didn't last very long. It was the one song that was like the right length.
Yes, and I have a complaint to lodge.
So coming up, so the doorbell rings, and enter Hannah's favorite Christmas song of all time. Christmas rapping. So
I actually think this cover is better than the original. I do like the original, but this cover is banging.
Yeah, and Mike Chang, Tina, Brittany Santana, and the cheerleaders come out all dressed in little Santa outfits. And they dance around with ribbons, and Brittany sings Christmas rapping.
I've never heard this song in my life.
10 seconds. Okay, it's definitely longer than that. But they only sing literally just one verse and then the chorus once, and then it's over. And I'm like, how dare you make me listen to the entirety of that jazzy Let It Snow cover and only give me that much of Christmas rapping, which is objectively a much more fun song to listen to. Objectively, not subjective. That's my complaint. Ryan Murphy.
I've never heard Christmas rapping before.
What?
I'm pretty sure.
You probably heard it in the store.
And disliked it?
Yeah, or like in commercials. It's in a lot of Christmas commercials. I would listen to the full version because the full version is way better. Like it literally, the song ended super abruptly and I was like, that was really awkward. Like
the
it
full
felt
version
awkward.
is a story.
Really, yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's really important. It is like a whole story.
Interesting. Yeah, because when Cullen told me this was your favorite song, I was
you were like, I'm disappointed.
Appalled. Yeah, I was appalled with your taste in Christmas music.
Listen to the whole one and then get back to me.
We've listened to it.
I have heard the whole one.
And you still think it's bad?
Ah.
Betrayed by my own blood.
I like it, Hannah.
Thanks, Cullen.
We listened to it on Thanksgiving.
I don't know what we listened to on Thanksgiving. Remember I told you we listened to like almost your entire playlist and I had no idea what was on it.
We listened to the whole thing, yep.
Yeah, no, I remember you saying we listened to it while we made Thanksgiving dinner. And yeah.
Yeah, almost
makes me
anytime
happy.
I listen to that song, I message Hannah.
Yep. I think a lot of our photos to each other is just us listening to that song and taking a screenshot and sending it to each other.
Yep. So yeah, they sing Christmas rapping, and then they bring out, they're like, oh, it's Itchy the holiday elf. And he comes in and he just looks so sad. And he walks up and he's like, Kurt's like, we have Itchy to deliver a heartwarming, happy holiday tale, Frosty the Snowman. And he's like, actually, I'm going to read something else from a different book. And they're like, are you sure? We really want to hear Frosty. He's like, no. And this is another callback to the Charlie Brown Christmas special.
Oh, okay.
Because Linus reads this exact passage from the Bible.
But does he do it when he's supposed to be reading something else?
No. But it's like, it teaches them the true meaning of Christmas in the Charlie Brown Christmas special. Like it serves the same narrative function.
Except that it doesn't serve that function in this story.
No, it does. It does. They learn the true meaning of Christmas because Rachel learns a lesson.
Yeah, Rachel learns, Finn learns.
But this isn't the lesson that they were striving to teach at the beginning of the episode.
Well, also, I wanted to know Artie's reaction to that because that's his whole vision blown to shit.
Yeah.
He wanted to start on fun, end on fun. Reading from the Bible, I don't know about you guys, I don't think it's that super fun. There's a lot of depressing stuff in there.
Well, so there's a lot of depressing stuff in there, but it's not like specifically depressing Christmas story. When he's like, I think we need to talk about Christmas in a different way, I thought maybe he was like making this gesture towards Sam and giving him something like less merry about Christmas. And I was thinking like the Matchstick Girl or something.
Yeah.
Not the Bible.
Or Gift of the Magi.
It's a completely different thing. Like the Bible in itself is a completely different version of Christmas that really hardly hadn't been touched on at all in this episode.
Well, we do know from watching the Glee Project that Ryan Murphy really wanted to talk about religion on Glee. So maybe this is his first foray.
Oh boy.
His second
after grilled Jesus. Never forget grilled Jesus.
Yeah, I get that. I'm not saying this was a very well planned and meticulously done callback. I'm just saying it was a callback.
Also, his Bible was so little.
It's one of those little Bibles that they give you.
Like a pocket Bible.
I have one this big. I am holding my fingers up. It's like about 1.5 inches. I have an inch and a half.
I definitely
Bible.
had one that big. I don't know if the text was that readable, but I used to use it for my Barbies when I was a kid.
I guess
my Barbies would go to church. I'm just like, why would I use it for that? I don't know. I guess they went to church. I was a good little Christian back then, even with my Barbies.
I think it's only the New Testament because you can't fit that much in when it's 1.5 inches.
Only so much of God's wrath can get in that tiny little thing.
It reminds me of those people on campus that used to hand out Bibles, and they'd hand out the little Bible, and then you'd be like, I don't want to throw this away because then I feel like a bad person, but I don't need a tiny little Bible.
Literally, they were stacked up on trash cans at my college.
That's how they get you.
Yeah, you stack them up because you don't want to throw it away, but you want to get rid of it.
That's hilarious. I'm just like picturing the school just like, and that's a big campus too. So like just a bunch of trash cans with, oh man, that's awful. And then feel bad for like the maintenance you have to come by and they're like, oh God, all these stacks of Bibles, what are we going to do with them? We can't
throw them away.
Okay, so funny story though is I literally got a package on my doorstep like maybe a couple weeks ago, and it had a Bible in it, and I was like, oh, I can't throw this away.
Was it like something you ordered and they gave you a Bible with it?
No, there was this person going through the neighborhood giving out like packages with a Bible and like all of these different things in it, and I was like, okay.
Goodwill. Take it to Goodwill.
Yeah, there you go.
That way someone who actually wants a Bible will be able to get it.
And for a really good price.
Exactly.
Affordable Bible. Is the Bible
Goodwill.
still like the best-selling book in the world?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Probably.
Let me check. You guys keep talking.
Might be Harry Potter, though.
And
The
that's why
devil's
my parents
novel.
didn't let me read Harry Potter.
Because it's not past sales of the Bible.
Ugh. So then, meanwhile, Puck and he says the Bible story. Puck and Rachel have like meaningful glances, despite the fact they're both Jewish. And Finn and Rachel have meaningful glances, and everyone's all cozy. And it happens, and I'm like, are all these characters religious? I don't know, but they liked this.
Yeah, it was odd. I thought it was like really poorly wrapped up.
Yeah. And then so the special ends, and we cut to the homeless shelter, and Sam and Quinn are there serving food. And Sam is like, thanks for coming. Like, I heard you had a really rough year, but you seem good to me. And she's like, yeah, I lost sight of what was important. I focus on what I didn't have, not all the good things in my future.
Also, like, Sam's like, oh yeah, I heard you had some rough stuff happen. And I'm like, Sam, that was so much rough stuff that I don't know if he even heard the part about where she was planning to frame Shelby and steal her baby back. I guess her baby. Sam, you missed a lot.
Yeah.
For the best.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Quinn's like, yeah, and he's like, well, you deserve good things, Quinn. And she's like, thanks, I'm trying. And I thought that was a cute moment.
Yeah.
And it was cute that I like that Quinn decided to not join the special and to actually help people.
It was kind of weird for me to see her there because I didn't actually realize that she had made that decision until I realized she wasn't going to be singing in the special at the very end of the special. And then we were there and I was like, oh, okay.
Same. Yeah.
She really wasn't in this episode a whole lot. Like, I don't remember her much apart from the ending.
Yeah.
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 She had a face journey and then she talked a little bit and that was it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then Sam's serving people, and Sue's like, hey, easy there on the helpings, bee sting, which I don't get, but okay. But I know
maybe
you're not
because
used to
his cheeks are so puffy.
Maybe.
Bee sting.
And she's like, maybe you're not used to being on this side of the serving line.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Shots
I
fired.
get it. I get what that means, but it's also like, that's rude.
Yeah. And then the Glee Club shows up with the turkey from the special with all the fixins. There was no turkey.
Right. Nope.
Which,
also,
and then she was like, it's a prop.
But it's real.
But it's real. Hey, guess what? I filmed a little, Thanksgiving short a couple of weeks ago with my roommate and some friends. And we had a prop chicken or whatever. It was real, all real food. And we're like, no one eat it. It's been sitting out all day. We haven't like cooked through it, heated up. Do not eat it. We're going to be throwing it away. And you're going to bring that to the homeless shelter. It's literally just been sitting out that whole time.
Under the lights.
Gross.
Yeah. Ew.
Even if it was real, which probably with their budget, it probably would have been real. But if you're going to shoot something multiple times, it's probably easier to have a fake turkey anyway, so it wouldn't be real. It's just...
They didn't shoot multiple times, though.
That
was a live special.
Yeah.
It was live,
Well.
But still, it's sitting out on a stage.
Gross.
Yeah. Don't eat the prop food, even if it's real. Especially if it's real. Just also if it's fake, don't eat it.
True.
Choking hazard. Just a PSA.
And so the Glee kids get to have their cake and eat it too this episode. They get to do their special and they get to feed the homeless and the charitable.
Very conveniently.
Mad. I was mad at this ending.
Not a fan. It just takes away all the weight of their decisions.
Yeah, well, they didn't make any decisions because
the special was cut because they got a last minute deal with the Yule log.
Yeah,
so otherwise they would have been late. So they're like, oh, well, I guess we have time to go to the homeless shelter. Yay.
It was stupid. They didn't make
That's the real meaning of Christmas.
They didn't make any decisions that makes me think that they learned any lessons, that they had any spirit of Christmas to actually help people who needed help more than they wanted this Christmas special.
Yeah, but then they sang that like Feed the World song, and that made it all better.
You mean the song where they say, I'm so glad that it's not me?
Thank God it's them and not you. Lyle and I had a conversation about that after the episode. I was like, I looked at the lyrics and I was like, I'm confused. Is this really what's happening in this song? And I'm like, yep, that's what happens.
This song is my imagined Christmas TM.
Yes, it really is. It is.
I hate this song. I hate the message. I hate how they talk about Africa like it's hell on earth, when it's an entire continent with a diverse variety of life.
Also,
are they actually talking about Africa?
There's a line in the full song that there won't be snow in Africa. There's going to be no snow in Africa.
Also, Leah Michelle did not sing the word Africa. I noticed that. She was like smiling, singing, and she did not say the word Africa. I noticed that.
There are places in Africa that have snow.
True. There are mountains. There are... Yeah,
mountains.
Like mountains. I was trying to think. I was like, yeah, where else? But yeah, no, like I think like she may have just like, dare I say it, forgotten the words. I think that's probably what it was. Mm-hmm. But I noticed that and I was like, oh, I gotta write that down.
Yeah, it's not a great song to be singing in a homeless shelter.
Yeah, it's like
it's really condescending in general, and like I can't believe they did that for the like, basically like. Donate money, and we're singing this song to help collect money for starving children. It's a really awful song. Like the true meaning of Christmas is learn about your privilege, and this song is like be thankful for your privilege and be thankful that other people don't have your privilege.
Yeah.
And I'm like really disappointed in myself right now because I thought that the ending was probably the best part of the show, and then now listening like to your talk about the lyrics, I'm like, wow, I really didn't listen to the lyrics well at all because
hey, listen, it could still be the best part of the episode. Don't count yourself short on that. I might agree. Like I think from like it, it has that sort of meaning of Christmas feel, but like everything outside of that is just awful. So I could say it could be the best part of the episode. That's Glee.
Yeah.
That's the true meaning of Glee.
I could go on forever about this song. It's the epitome of rich white liberalism.
It's awful. Like if you read through the lyrics, just listeners, just like do yourself a favor, listen to the song and also look up those lyrics. It's bananas. But I think it's also important to note that like this was also written, I think, in the 80s.
Yeah.
So, like, not that I want to give it credit, but, like, it makes sense. I don't think we'd quite write a song like this. Although I'm sure people have.
The only bells that ring are the clanging chimes of doom.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's what that was. Because, okay, so make sure you get an accurate lyric sheet because it said like chains of door or something like that. And I was like, I don't know what that means. But this part about thank God it's them and not you. Awful.
Singing that to a homeless child. Awful.
Yeah.
And they were said they were gonna end their Christmas special with that, which doesn't fit into Artie's idea of fun. It would definitely throw Agnes off.
Yeah, Agnes would be like, I remember this from the 80s.
Didn't like it then.
It's awful now.
Yeah. So then we have a couple scenes left. Finn is entering school and Rachel finds him and is like, hey, I want just the guy I was looking for. I named my pig. I named her Barbara. And I hope that all the kids that eat her are inspired by her as Barbara inspires me. And he's like, oh, so it's a kosher pig.
Right.
And then he's like, but I got you something because I realized after the pig is eaten, you won't have anything to show for this year's Christmas. So here's a star that I bought for you. I named it Finn Hudson. So whenever because there's already a star here named Rachel Berry and she shines brighter than the stars in the sky. So whenever you're lonely, you can look up at the sky and know that Finn Hudson is watching over you.
It's cute, I guess.
I thought it was really sweet, but it's also really sad because he is dead.
Oh, that's true. Oh, God. I didn't even think about that. I thought it was like...
No. He's a dead real person, but Finn Hudson isn't dead. Poryman Teeth is dead.
Well, no. Finn Hudson is dead.
Finn Hudson is not dead because he's a fictional character and he exists in the world of Glee and he's not dead.
Yes, but in future
you'll have
seasons.
To find out. No, is it? You have to find out what happens. Anyway. I couldn't let you sit there and say that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I had to. We've also talked about it. I have definitely said when he dies on the show multiple times.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
I blacked it out. I'm not ready for it.
Go block it out again.
Yep, it's going to be fine.
Yep.
But no, like, I when I heard him saying that, I was like, oh, this reminds me of the Police song, like Every Breath You Take. But I get it. It is kind of sweet. But then this is another spot in the show where people like get things that they don't actually deserve and get to have that because he somehow
got her earrings. He hawked his Letterman jacket. That's what he said.
Like, so it's sort of like, I guess, Gift of the Magi a little bit. He did that. But like, I literally was like, no, she did nothing to deserve that. She was horrible to him. And I'm like, and no comeuppance for that, really.
And then she's like, it's too much wonderful for one girl. We need to give back. And she's, come on, let's get our coats. And then Allyssa pointed out, where do they keep their coats?
That's a great point.
Well, I even said, I was like, well, he hawked it.
Yeah.
He's going to go out and he's be like, I'm freezing. I don't have my coat.
So then instead of getting him his jacket back, don't worry, he'll probably wear it in a later episode.
Oh, yeah, no, we're definitely going to have to talk about that. I'm going to have to try to remember. If we say the Letterman jacket, we're going to call Bully.
They sell the earrings and they sell the iPod she got Finn.
Which we don't even see. Like, does he even get to open his gift? Like,
I don't think so.
Also, where'd she get the money?
Yeah, it's good and great that she
doesn't have a job.
Yeah, her parents, we already discussed her parents spoil her rotten.
Right. So Finn literally had to hawk something precious of his own and then also probably had to like use money that he had saved up, maybe for college or, a car of his own if he doesn't have it, and like she like probably just asked her parents like, hey, can I have $250 for an iPod shuffle? I don't remember how much they were back then. Probably not that much, probably like 150.
But
yeah,
then
like that's bullshit.
Dude, he had to go like sell his back too. Like that iPod was his.
Yeah.
Technically, like, did he want to do that? I don't know.
So they sell it back and they donate the money to the charity that Sam and Rory are bell ringing for.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a fun scene though when he like Finn throws a snowball at Sam, and
I literally thought it was about to be like a bullying scene. I didn't notice who it was when he threw it, and I was like, "Oh shit, shit's gonna go to." Oh no, it's just Finn.
It kind of felt that way because you can't see Finn, and then the snowball hits Sam like right in his crotch.
Yeah. That's what a jest.
ha 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 ha.
Ha 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 ha.
So Rachel and Finn join Sam and Rory bell ringing. Rory asks Sam if he'll be his Valentine's Day sponsor so he can get a snog or two in before Valentine's Day.
I was really confused. I literally thought because he like kind of like looks at him weird. He like kind of gives him like a little side eye, and I thought he was like asking to make out with him.
In the Glee
That's
boot.
how I read it. In the Glee boot, everyone's bi, everyone's fluid. It's great.
Sam's like, as long as you help me perfect my Sean Connery, because impressions are the first way to get chicks.
Also, Sean Connery isn't Irish, or wasn't Irish. He was Scottish. So,
yeah.
Yeah. So,
did anyone else? So, like when Finn was like, "Okay, are you ready?" When he's like, Rachel and Finn are gearing up to put money in this little red can. He's like, "Okay, are you ready?" And she's like, "Okay, yes, let's do it." And she goes up, and we don't actually see what she puts in it. So I was like, why did they need her to gear up to put some change into the red can? And then they explain that they hawked or like sold back the stuff. And I was like, okay, that would have been useful before the scene that she actually put it in. Like,
because I thought she put the earrings in.
I was like, is she just gonna put the earrings in there?
Yeah, I was like, she's gonna put the earrings in there. Okay, I mean, I guess they can sell that themselves, but it'd be easier if we just had cash.
The order of that shot sequence was not amazing.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, and then we have our second acknowledgement of Rachel being Jewish, because they're all wishing people Merry Christmas, and you hear Rachel faintly say Happy Hanukkah,
which I laughed at.
I didn't think it was faint. I think she literally went Happy Hanukkah. Also, when like Rachel got the star or whatever, and she was like looking at it, my boyfriend goes, "She's really good at hiding disappointment," and I was like, yeah, she is.
So that was the episode. Yay, we got through it.
That was the Christmas episode.
It was boring.
Mm-hmm. I honestly think last year's was better because at least there was a story.
Yeah, it was more interesting at the very least.
I still stand by my decisions to skip the Christmas episodes.
I support you in that.
Pretty valid.
Yeah.
So now it is Tina time.
Tina had exactly one line.
Just one.
What'd she say?
She was talking about how depressing last Christmas was.
Oh yeah, she's the one who explained that Artie's legs broke.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, good for her, I guess.
One line.
Didn't the past couple weeks she had like quite a few, so it's like we gotta slow down. Can't be giving Tina Cohen Shank that many
She
lines.
was in the double digits. So
last week, right?
Yeah.
Wow. She really got downgraded this week.
And then I guess it's time for our MVPs and LVPs.
Yeah.
So, Heather, do you have a least valuable player for this episode?
Man, I would really like to say that it was Rachel, because I couldn't stand her in this episode. Like, she was even more intolerable than I've remembered her.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was insufferable. It was bad.
Yeah. It was bad.
I actually think last week I picked her. I think so. No, I picked Shelby. But I'm still going to stick with my person for LVP. I picked that TV producer guy who compared Artie to Tiny Tim and then was like, oh yeah, Tiny Tim could walk. So that's my LVP.
Can I pick like the entire group of Glee Club except for Sam and Quinn because they didn't go to the homeless shelter and were jerks about it?
And then they never got punished for not doing that. They still got to do it.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
got to do both.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Remember
They
that
learned
one time we had a
lessons.
sweater as LVP? The rules are thrown out.
Yes. So I am choosing Glee Club, sans Quinn and Sam.
I'm going with Artie with his
Oh, okay.
his obnoxious bad ideas and his condescension. And yeah, but Rachel was so bad this episode. Maybe I'll go with Rachel. The whole embarrassing, I give you Lucy would embarrass yourself like this.
Mm.
Ugh. Womp womp.
Cringy.
Yeah, that's like mean. Like that's mean. Capital M mean.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe like honorable mention Artie
Yeah.
for making this horribleness happen.
So Heather, who is your MVP this episode?
I think probably Sam and Quinn, because they didn't do the Christmas special and they went to the homeless shelter. I think that they are my MVPs.
Yeah,
Fair.
I 100% went with Sam because like he was honestly the most like steady character this episode. Like he stuck to his guns pretty much every stage of the way. And he was really just, like from the very beginning, like Christmas to me is being thankful and grateful for what I have and helping others and sharing, using my privilege to help others essentially. Like, yeah. So Sam.
I'm also going with Sam, the lovable golden retriever boy that he is. He's just like a ball of merry fluff, and he did such a good job. He was such a good boy.
Give him a good pat on the head.
Yes, good boy.
I'm gonna go with Sam. Honorable shout out to Rory for being Sam's Christmas buddy. I thought Rory did a good job this episode, and for reading the Christmas story. I like that. But I think Sam was ultimately the best because he helped the homeless people. He stuck to his guns, and he wasn't obnoxious about it. He was just very like sincere, and that's what I liked. Yeah, we love Sam on this podcast. I didn't expect this podcast to be like the Sam Love podcast, but like it is.
Why not? Why would you not expect that?
I forgot. Like after it had been a while since I watched the show, I forgot how great Sam was.
And yes, he is the best.
With the exception of the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yes. Yes, that is its own nightmare Gleeverse.
Yeah. See, every time you mention it, all I can think of is a golden retriever in like the costume.
Yeah, in the golden pants.
Yes, that's all I can think of.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about the music. There are a lot of songs this episode. There was All I Want for Christmas Is You, Blue Christmas, River, Extraordinary Merry Christmas, Let It Snow, Favorite Things, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, Christmas Wrapping, and Feed the World. Or Do They Know It's Christmas Time? So, Heather, what was your favorite? No, let's start. What was your least favorite song?
Oh, my least favorite song. Well, now having this podcast discussion, the last song, my least favorite, because I didn't listen to the lyrics apparently. And they're actually horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to go with that, the Christmas Imagine TM. Do They Know It's Christmas Time? 0 out of 10 stars.
Yeah, so I'm also gonna go with that one, but with the caveat The very, very close is River, because I've never heard it. And when I did hear of it, I didn't like. But I've heard the one that we're talking about and just didn't realize what the lyrics were. It's kind of a catchy song.
Oh, it
Right.
gets stuck in your head.
Yeah. I just didn't realize that the lyrics were so awful.
Yeah.
It's one of those where I'm like, why are we still singing it?
Mhm.
It's pretty
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, same here. Feed the world. Feed the world, but don't do it with that song.
There you go.
Exactly.
So Heather, what was your favorite song?
My favorite was probably the opening, All I Want for Christmas Is You, but that's just because I love Mercedes' voice so much that anytime she sings, it's probably my favorite song.
Yeah, that's a theme on this podcast. Like I feel like every time like Mercedes has a number, at least someone is like Mercedes' number is the best. I'm going with Christmas wrapping.
I'm surprised.
Yeah,
What?
I'm shocked.
I'm going with Christmas wrapping with a caveat, the fact that it's a really small segment and it's super awkward in the show, but I still love it. It's still my favorite. I was the most amped up for it. But I do have to say, like, other than that, I would have picked Mercedes' number 2 because, like, she does so good as, like, the Mariah type voice, which is really hard. It's great. It's a great cover, too. It's fun.
I'm gonna go with the song that's not a Christmas song. God, what is
Favorite
it?
things?
Yes, Favorite Things. That one. I like that song, even though it's not a Christmas song. But this entire episode was such a fail that I'm gonna pick whatever I want.
Not that you can't every other episode. We haven't been forcing you into your choices, have we?
You didn't read the fine print of the contract?
Oh boy.
Yeah, so anyway, I'm gonna go with that one. I always like singing it. I actually like The Sound of Music, unlike a lot of people that I know.
I love The
So-
Sound of Music.
Yes, well, I wasn't talking about you because you love all musicals.
You have good taste.
Except for, well, yes.
Awkward.
Thanks. I enjoy that.
So okay,
Queen of awkward pauses.
my favorite was, it's gonna be a hot take, the Glee original, Extraordinary Merry Christmas.
I think it's catchy.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that song. It's a bop. It's on my Christmas playlist. It's on my Glee playlist.
Did we listen to that one on your Christmas playlist on
Yeah.
Thanksgiving? Okay, because I had heard that one before. I remembered hearing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think it might be on mine too. But I think I thought it was like, oh, this is a cover. No one ever said it was something they wrote.
Yeah, they didn't say, but if you notice in the subtitles, they don't say, usually they say like Landslide by Fleetwood Mac or something, but
Right.
like this just said Extraordinary Merry Christmas starts playing.
Huh. Interesting.
So that wraps up our episode
Wraps up with a bow.
with
Christmas wrapping.
Hey, that was terrific. I'm so glad that happened.
Heather, thank you so much for coming on. Do you have any social medias you'd like to plug? Any projects? or
I
anything?
have so many social medias. Well, I do have a TikTok, and it is HeatherDM14. That is my TikTok username. I post a bunch of random stuff. And I also have an Instagram, HTrowbri, HTROWBRI. And I just post a lot of cute kitten pictures and life updates on there.
Aw,
Hey.
Cool.
yeah.
So Gleeboot is on the TikTok. We're also on Instagram and Twitter. We are at GleebootPod. And then we are also on Tumblr, gleebootpod.tumblr.com.
You can follow my other podcast with me and Alyssa on it, Wanderers Cove at Wanderers Cove Podcast on Instagram. You can also find us wherever you get your podcasts.
And you can follow me on Instagram at a.m.swearingen, SWEARINGEN.
Yay.
Nice. So once again, thank you so much, Heather. We hope you had fun.
Absolutely.
Yay.
It was a blast.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And yeah, happy holidays to all you listeners. We hope you have a safe and cozy holiday, however you can in these trying times, as they say.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Enjoy your friends, family, whoever you're spending time with.
I'm with Mercedes. I think it is the end times. Happy holidays.
Okay.
And that's where we end it. Bye-bye.
Gleeboot.